Mike, the offense has a lot of changes going on, too. It seems like every year they're shuffling guys on that offensive line. Two things, we don't have to talk depth in this. I got to throw it out there, though. It drives me nuts that every year the offensive line seems to be in disarray. And only 1 out of like 4 years they get it right. And special teams, just hire a coach. They always have, seem like they always have mistakes and lack of coverage. They've never had a coach, right, on special teams? Just answer that one.
Coach under Joe. Yeah,
he's
never had a special teams coach. That's just what he believes in, and he thinks now that to add to with the limitations that the NCAA puts on your coaching staff, even though they're pretty huge, he thinks that to take a guy away from something else would just not work. And
I'll do it for free.
All right, good to know. Good to know. Volunteer assistant Starkey.
I'll do it for the buffet. I'll do it for the Saturday evening or the Friday night buffet and sideline pass.
But offensive line, engine of the football team, crucial thing, and you're right. Almost every year that they have a good offensive line, it's very experienced. It's kids that have been up there for 3 or 4 years, and that's really not the case this year. I mean, they have some veteran guys, but not guys who have played a ton of football. You know about Stefan Wisniewski. He's moving from center to guard. They're solid, I think, at left tackle with Quinn Barham, but that's really a crucial position on the field. They're solid at center, I think, with a kid named Doug Klopatz, who is kind of replacing Wisniewski, and they're high enough on him. The other 2 spots a little bit up in the air, and also there's the element with the offensive line of cohesiveness. They have to play together. Right. There's a little bit of that chemistry issue that we just have to wait and see. And I don't think Youngstown State's going to tell you much. Alabama the following week might.
Yeah, it might. Wide receiver, we mentioned in our defensive segment that Chaz Powell is back on offense. He's a heck of an athlete. They're going to find places for this guy to play. So it reminds me of like the Derek Williams role of a few years ago.
Yeah,
Finding places on the field. Wide receiver, we got Manheim Central graduate, product, star, Graham Zug. I play it up enough? But who's the other guy that's in there? It's a little guy. It's about
Derek Moy is going to be one.
Smurf.
Derek Moy and Zug are real solid veteran
Moy's
guys
who are going to think are going to be. Who am I think? Number 20, right?
Devin Smith, a sophomore who was in Joe's doghouse at times last year, got on the field a little bit. Considered to be, he's a tiny dude, like 5'7", 155 pounds. Supposedly one of the fastest players in all of college football, and he has won one of the I think he's going to be the slot receiver and return kickoffs. They're going to try to get him on the field and give him a chance to make big plays.
He's still replacing Curtis Drake, who was a tall, lengthy
I really
guy.
think Curtis Drake would have been the guy to have Smith's job if he had, but he broke his leg a few weeks ago. He's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, starting a couple weeks ago. So he might be ready like week 5 or something like that. But for now, it's Devin Smith. It's a little dude.
Who's the tight end that's got the injury now? Just
Andrew Zerba, and he has back problems that have nagged and nagged and nagged. So it looks like a kid named Gary Gilliam, redshirt freshman from the Milton Hershey School, is sort of right now the first string tight end.
They've had so many of the same tight ends for a while, Ben. They've had such a good group, so it's interesting to hear some new names in there.
That's going to be an area that's going to be probably a little shaky.
Talking about shaky, what's shaking down with the quarterback position right now?
They're listed on the depth chart. They're listed on the depth chart this way. Matt McGloin is listed first, and then it's or Kevin Newsom, and then it's or Robert Bolden, and then Paul Jones, the other true freshman with Bolden, is listed fourth, but there's no or there. So I think Joe said today that they're tentatively considering redshirting Jones, but the other 3, he said I can't. He doesn't know. He doesn't know who they're going to pick. He doesn't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. And I think that's probably true. I think at this moment they probably don't know. I think the fact that Bolden is even in the mix as a true freshman who was not there in the spring indicates that he probably is the best kid they have.
Bolden was is a Michigan High product, the state of Michigan, I'm trying to say. I've heard great things about him. A couple thoughts. One, if Newsom hasn't figured it out by now, after getting to play a little bit last year, and he's been up in the program as an athlete, he's not going to figure it out. If this is a rebuilding year for me, and we're seeing different spots where it clearly is, and the schedule is tough with Ohio State, Alabama, and Iowa all in the top 10, maybe you're smart to go with the true freshman. I'm hearing great things about Bolden anyhow. The other thing is, doesn't it help with recruiting in the future, Mike, if you let these athletes in there right away if they deserve to be out there? You had a bunch of linebackers that went early. You're able to take kids right off of the streets that are great athletes and say, here, you come to Penn State, you'll play right away if you deserve to play. If he deserves to play, put him on the field.
That's not how Joe thinks, and that's not how he's going to think. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, Starkey.
Give me your prediction. How's the season going to go?
I said 8-4 in the paper. The more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards 7-5, and maybe the Gator Bowl, something like that, a mid-range bowl.
I was thinking 8-4, but 7-5 is probably more realistic. I'm thinking Alamo.